Hi there, Honda owners. Today on your 2018 Honda Ridgeline, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to replace your cabin air filter. We'll begin our installation over here on the passenger side. Go ahead and open up our glove box here. If you've got any items, go ahead and remove those. I just set those up there. Next, we're going to take the sides of our glove box here and we're going to push inward on the sides and we're going to lift up just ever so slightly on it when we do that. Then we can drop it down and those ears there will clear and it can just hang out just like that right there for us. The black panel that you see located here is where our cabin filter housing is. So we're going to remove the cover here. Before we take it off, let's just take a quick look at what's written on the front of it here. You can see that it says airflow here in the middle and there's an arrow pointing down, which means that the direction that air flows through the system in your vehicle is from top down. It's important you check that because some vehicles flow air the other direction and your air filter does have a specific direction it was designed to be installed in. So we'll remove this cover. You'll see there's also arrows on each side indicating to push the tabs towards the middle. So we'll just push each tab towards the middle and then we're just sliding this outward. We'll tip it up ever so slightly to clear our glove box, and here we have our cabin filter. And we can see we do have quite a bit of debris in there. This is the purpose of our cabin filter here though, is to catch all this debris, whether it be insects. Looks like there's quite a bit of pollen and leaves and stuff like that in there, and it captures it here, letting that fresh air continue on by to come out of the vents here in our system. So the importance of replacing your cabin filter is to ensure that you get the cleanest air possible, removing as much pollen and debris so that way you can just breathe a little bit easier. Helps out with allergies, especially if you're in an area where there is a lot of heavy pollen and stuff. It can really help keep it out of your vehicle. The other benefit of replacing your cabin filter here is you get increased airflow. If this is full of dirt and debris, it reduces the airflow through the filter, which means we get slightly less airflow through the vents. And this can have cause poor performance on our HVAC system because of that. Some examples in an extreme condition, if this is really caked up and we have hardly no airflow through here, your air conditioner may start encountering issues like freezing up, where there's just not enough transfer of the warmer air outside going across the evaporator, and the evaporator temperature drops down so low that it can actually start to get a little bit of icing on it, and that can cause the system to be inoperative until it thaws out. So this can just help ensure that your HVAC system stays working properly, you get good flow through your vents, and you can stay comfortable inside breathing easily with cleaner air. So we're going to go ahead and get this one out of here. To remove it, we simply slide it on out just like that, just pushing from the back side. We'll take this guy here, we're just going to set that off to the side. And we're going to grab our new one. So our new one here comes wrapped up for us. It should have an indicator on it which way it requires airflow to flow through the filter. So we're going to inspect it here and see if we can't find the markings that indicate the correct orientation. And we can see, there we go, airflow, arrows pointing down. We know that the cover here showed airflow, arrows pointing down, so we're going to go ahead and slide it in just like it shows. Now we can't put airflow towards the front because it's a bit of a rectangular shape, so we'll have to slide off that way. But the main thing is that we have airflow going down and airflow going down. We can grab our other filter because I always like to check. And if we take a look at this filter here, airflow is up on this filter. So it appears that this filter was installed backwards, and we know it was installed backwards, and the reason why we know it was installed backwards is because all the dirt and debris is collected on this side. Airflow has to be coming from this direction to bring all that dirt and debris with it. It gets captured here and comes out the other way. So the previous owner here did have his filter installed backwards, and what oftentimes you'll see when you find it backwards, I'm going to check the other side of this filter, but sometimes people are like, hey, this is all dirty. Well, I'll just flip this thing over and now it's clean. The problem with that is now you're sucking all this dirt into your system, And you don't want to do that. This guy didn't do that. It looks like whoever installed it just didn't pay attention to that airflow. And by having it installed the correct direction, we're going to optimize the amount of airflow we get through the system, as well as optimize the amount of debris that we're going to remove from it. So now that we've got it properly installed, we can just slide it into place. Make sure that our clips latch. And yeah, I can't pull it back out of there without pressing it on the release tabs again, so we know that it's fully inserted in there. At this point now, we can just lift up on our glove box. You can reinstall your items. I'm going to hold off on reinstalling my items though, because what I always like to do before I go to give this back to any customer that I'm working on, we're going to turn it on, we're going to turn our blower motor on. Because one of the things that can happen when you replace your cabin filter, especially if it's been a long time, these little pieces of leaves and stuff like that, if they're a little bit bigger and you slide that thing out of there, sometimes it scrapes those leaves off the top. And they're now down inside your the squirrel cage for your blower motor. You turn it on, you're going to hear like a little bit of noise because it's hitting those leaves. If that's the case, we'll turn our system back off so that way the squirrel cage isn't moving. Completely shut it down. We'll slide our filter out and we can stick our hand in there. We can scoop that stuff out. It's very important you make sure that all the system's turned off. We don't want that squirrel cage coming on while we're working inside of it. So let's just turn it on and make sure everything sounds like we got good airflow with no obstructions. All right, so I went ahead and turned it on here. Turn our blower motor up to max just so we get the most noise as possible. Trying to listen to make sure that we don't hear any debris that might have gotten caught down inside of there. I don't hear anything, so I would say that our installation is complete at this point. We're ready to give this back to the customer. And that completes our replacement of the cabin air filter on our 2018 Honda Ridgeline.